So today's meetup has 2 hours. We already, waited 10 minutes. The topic is how to write a DA/BI resume without relevant experience. I need to qualify that. It's impossible to write a resume without experience. We do need experience. For new graduates or career switchers, you either don't have the experience at all, or you don't have a relevant experience. And this is a problem we need to solve head on. Without relevant experience, our resume will not get looked at. The resume will not get you interviews. So it's a typical catch-22 situation. You need a job to start accumulating experience, but you need experience to find a job. How can we solve the problem? So the short answer is, even though you don't have relevant work experience, you can use project experience. You can use highly relevant project experience. And if you have experience, but it's less relevant, then you can augment it with more relevant project experience. So I'm going to share with you a real resume to protect the identity of this student. I mask the personal identifying information. Let me just make this full screen. Okay, I think you can see it. And if you can look at the bottom half of the resume, you will know what I'm talking about. So this individual, she graduated with a master's degree. She has 2 degrees, Bachelor of Arts it's a double major economics and environmental geography. And then Master of Science, it's rural planning and development. The only experience she has had for this job, I knew this student really, really well. So I knew her situation really, really well. This only job was actually a company she created. So it's her own company at the time. It was difficult to find a job. So she started to work for her own. So she created a event planning company and trying to work with some artists and musicians and from Asia to coordinate, and book the events for them. That was 2019. We all know what happened in 2020. So very quickly, she had to shut down the business. So literally from school to this, short-lived job, she didn't have any experience. So way back then, she found me and we talked over the phone. And I convinced her to join the BI bootcamp, DA/BI bootcamp. So the really important experience was actually the project experience. As you can see, she did include 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6 projects on her resume. And she chose to elaborate 3 projects and mention 3 more projects. So this, and this 3 projects, she put 3 bullets for each, and 3 more projects, she just mentioned it. And there's only 1 line for each project. Okay. And then the skills she also got from the bookend, in 6 categories: programming, statistics, visualization, database system, machine learning, and operation optimization, and business. So I want to use this example to show you, yes, there is a solution. If you feel like you don't have any relevant experience, but yet you want to break into the data space. So tonight, I'm going to use 2 examples to show you, how to make this happen. You know, you may, think you can just copy paste this experience and put the same thing on your resume, and probably you will get interviewed, which is true. In fact, I have something over here, and you can see that this is something called Be a Learning Path. And if you go down, you will see tools, process, practice, project, and then the skills. So under skills, we have these many bullets. And I mean, literally you can copy paste and put the same thing on your resume. And I also put a number of projects over here as, the project experience, so 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I mean, these are just examples, example text that you can include on your resume. But the problem is, you don't understand what you put on the resume, and it's very hard for you to defend it, right? And I just want to use the 2 hours to demonstrate one thing. For your resume to get you interviews, it's not that you can write anything. And the hiring manager definitely know what they're looking for, and they can distinguish, nonsense from the highly relevant experience. So I'm going to show you what is it that we consider relevant experience and what kind of project experience will get you interview opportunities. So tonight, I'm going to use these 2 examples. So the first one is a project in CRM, customer relationship management, and specifically email campaign management. And this happened in telecom industry. And I also put the technology stack. So the flow is from CRM system called HubSpot, then to MySQL database, and then to MailChimp. So MailChimp is a system that you can use to automate, the email campaign. So you can send 500 emails, 1,000 emails in a batch, okay? And now, as I said before, you could just copy paste this and put on a resume, but the problem is you don't understand all these bullets. This doesn't really make sense to you unless, we can simulate the work, unless we can simulate the work experience. And let's experience it, before we put this on the resume. So I'm going to show you in, 1 short hour, maybe 1 hour for each project. Maybe we don't need that long, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes for 1 project. So then you can, even you can understand it. And if you can understand, and then you will feel very comfortable, putting this resume, these bullets on your resume. And even better, if you join the bootcamp and you will do it yourself, you can reproduce the project, and then you live and breathe this experience. You went through the whole process, and everything you put on a resume, you can stand by, and you can defend it, right? So I'm going to switch to MySQL. So obviously the real project is a lot more complicated than this, but I just create this simplified one to make a point. So we can finish this, within probably 20 minutes and less than half an hour. Okay, so I'm going to share with you, first of all, the context. So here's the context. So the company's name, some of you know, is Global and Mail. And it used to be a newspaper, but nowadays people almost don't read newspaper. That's not true. We still have people, maybe older generation, they still read newspaper, I mean the paper, in print. But the company becomes a media company and they have gone digital. So a lot of the content has been delivered to the customer's desktop or tablet. So I want to show you this page so you can see, just look at the title. So this is digital, obviously, and home delivery, I think you can infer, and this is the paper, right? So this is digital on tablet, and this is paper delivered at your doorstep. If you look at the price, so this is $1.99 per week, and this is $6.99 per week, and this is $10.99 per week. And it gets more expensive when you need the actual paper. And this is Saturday only, and this is Monday through Saturday, right? So it's more often, okay? And the cheapest is obviously digital. And there is a name for that. I think it's called Globe to Go. Yeah. So it's called Globe to Go, the global email to go. Okay. So with this is enough context. Let's go back to. So this is subscription, as you can see. So I'm going to. So this is MySQL, and most of you probably have worked with SQL before, so I assume you have the basic knowledge. So let's go through this real quick. And the first time we go through this, 6 bullets, we probably have no idea what the 6 bullets are about. But let's go through it anyway, and then when we finish this small little exercise, we will come back. I guarantee you will feel a lot more comfortable, with the 6 bullets. So once again, this is the domain CRM, customer relationship management. Almost every single company, public or private, a private company or public organization, almost every single one has a system called CRM, customer relationship management. It is used to manage the relationship with the customer. So it's used by marketing, sales, operation, in front office. So specifically, we can try to reach out to the potential customers through different channels. And in this example, it's for email. Okay, so email is just one of many channels. And we reach out to the customers, we engage them, and then we try to convert needs into a paying customer. So it's a subscription business. You try to lock in the business as long as possible. So usually, if people pay for the full year, they can cancel anytime. But if they pay for the full year, it's cheaper every month. but they also have the option to pay every month. That's like any, like software as a service, like Microsoft Office, or your cell phone clients, the same thing. Okay, so it's CRM and specifically digital marketing. We consider email one of the digital channels. And more specifically, it's the email campaign. Oh, I think I misspelled it. CAMPAIGN. Oh, I hope I spelled this right. Okay, so the first one is about your role. So you obviously is a DA, a data analyst, or BIA, business intelligence analyst, and you work with marketers and engineers. So I'm going to define marketers as the creative people, right? And they are from marketing department, and you're from the data department, and engineers are from IT department. So this is business, and this is technology, and you are somewhere in the middle. So you need to work with, so analysts work with marketers and engineers to design and execute, so two verbs, design and execute email campaigns. And the objective is to grow leads and drive sales. Okay, and between leads and sales, we have a conversion funnel. So a number of sales divided by number of leads is called conversion rate, right? But obviously, we have to, send enough leads into the funnel to have some sales coming out of the funnel, okay? So number two, your work covered the end-to-end process. What is the end-to-end process? 3 steps. The first is list generation. You need to generate a list of emails. And the second step is the execution of the campaign. And the third step is the performance measurement to measure the success of the campaign. So end-to-end process includes 3 steps: list generation, campaign execution, and performance measurement. Okay, 3, you need to generate, so this is the list generation. You need to generate a targeted email list. We're not going to send emails to everyone we know, no. There are certain rules we need to observe, okay? Some are imposed by laws and regulations from the government. So we need to generate a targeted email list based on business rules. So some are business considerations. So this is business rules, and these are laws and regulations. So it's very easy to find out what DNCL is. You can use ChatGPT, or you can just type in the Google search box, you will find out. So this is do not call list. Do not call applies to digital marketing, telemarketing. But we also use the same list to exclude, the emails. And CASL is Canadian anti-spam legislation, so we have to follow. So we need to do some inclusion, exclusions to generate the list. And then we need to segment the email list. So we need to do some segmentation, but we use a number of characteristics, including demographic and behavior and preference. So demographic is your age, gender, and education, occupation, things like that. And behavior, well, depending on a lot of things, you may prefer, I don't know, digital, or my parents probably will prefer the actual real newspaper. And some other people, they want to have access to both digital and newspaper. So these are behavior and preferences. So we can use these characteristics to segment the whole list into a few, smaller lists. And then we can send them, different offers for personalized content and product offerings. And number 5, sometimes we're not sure what is the best strategy to really convince the potential customers to subscribe to our service. So the only way to find out is A/B testing. So this is how you do A/B testing. You use a random seed to divide this email list into 2 groups. One is called control group, and the other one is test group. And then we apply different strategies to control group versus test group. So strategy A applies to the control group, and strategy B applies to the test group. What is strategy anyway? It's actually really simple. You may have different subject, for A versus B, because we want to test which subject, grabs people's attention, or which subject can actually prompt the potential customers to click on it, right? To open it first, and then click it, and then maybe subscribe. And could be the subject, or could be the body of the email. So you want to test out, is it just pure text or combination of text and image? And nowadays, we even use video. So you want to test what kind of content will be more effective. And also, the real purpose of this email is to get people to subscribe to your service. So CTA is call to action. You can include a backlink, and that will take people to the Global Mail website, and then you put in your credit card information and then you subscribe, or maybe something else, right? It could be the digital copy of the newspaper for trial, right? So you can put different things to differentiate the strategy A versus B, then to determine what works and what doesn't. Because after we execute the campaign, we will measure, which strategy is more effective. We will measure the KPI, for different groups. So then number 6 is about the KPI. So email campaign, I think everybody received a lot of emails, including spam emails. And I mean, some of these emails could go into spam. And that's why we have this regulation. It's just when you put on your hat as the consumer, you really don't like it. But when you put on your hat as the marketer or data analyst, and you obviously want people to open it, click on it, and convert, right? So the KPI open rate is very straightforward. Click rate and conversion rate. So we use them to measure the email campaign performance, improve the return on investment, and reduce the cost of acquisition. So just by going through this, I hope you have a very high-level, rough idea what email campaign is all about. But we're going to use some of the SQL query to anchor that knowledge. Okay, so starting off, we always need to create a new database. So we call this database TGAM, the Global and Mail. Okay, so if the database already exists, and then we drop it. Otherwise, we create this database, and then we decide to use this database. If you refresh the schema, you will see this new database, TGAN, already created, but it's empty. By definition, a database is a collection of related tables. So I'm going to create 3 tables called email, campaign, and activity. And once again, I make this extremely simple just to make a point. I hope you will understand this better through this simple example. So the first table is called email, and it has 4 columns. Very easy to understand. The ID and the actual email and the email status. And this is a set. It can only has 2 values. So email status is either valid or invalid. I mean, the email itself can be a bad email, right? It's not a valid email, or it's a valid email. And then the consent status. The owner of the email opt in, they agree to keep getting your emails. A lot of times, the business, if you want to get anything, from their website, and they will ask you to enter the email. But at the same time, there is a checkbox for you to agree to them sending you some promotional information. So if you check that box, your status is going to be opt-in. Otherwise, it's opt-out. I think this is pretty easy to understand. I hope you understand it. Okay, so I'm going to run this. Then I will have an empty table called email, right? But it's empty. Oh, I forgot to mention, this ID is the primary key. It's unique. Every row is a different ID and different email. All right. So the second table is called campaign, and every table has an ID. This is the ID of the campaign, and once again, it's also a primary key. But this ID is different from this ID because this is an email ID and this is a campaign ID. Okay, and then this is the name of the campaign. And I think I forgot to mention a few things over here. Let me just go back here. So I told you the flow is from HubSpot. This is the CRM system. So you actually extract data from HubSpot, the CRM, and then you use SQL to manipulate it to generate the list, right? So once you have the list ready, then you can dump the list into MailChimp to send batch emails. And remember, the global mail has monthly plan versus annual plan. And if you subscribe to the newspaper for the whole year, it's going to be cheaper by month, okay? Otherwise, you could always pay as you go, on a monthly basis. And the type of the subscription is either digital or print, or digital and print. Very, very simple. And the delivery, the frequency of delivery could be daily, could be Saturday only, or weekend only, or weekday only, right? Or you can do combo, so daily, then that's every day, and this is weekend, and this is weekday, okay? And 3 campaigns. I took these from the website. Remember the Global to Go at $1.99 per week, and Global to Go Saturday home delivery. So this is digital and print, right? Saturday home delivery, and it's more expensive, $6.99. And global to go Monday, Saturday home delivery at $10.99. All right. Okay. So now we come back here. This campaign is going to be one of these, right? $1.99, $6.99, and $10.99. All right. To make it simple, let's say the only difference for control group and test group is the subject. So I just put subject over here. It's going to be different, all right? But obviously the campaign has more information, body of the email, maybe a call to action. And if you need to send image, then image could be another column, or even video, right? And there's a primary key. Okay, so I'm going to run this to create another table. Okay, and the third table is the activity. So the activity is associated with the email and campaign, because we're gonna run this campaign and send the product offer to a list of emails. In fact, if we have 3 campaigns, we're going to have 3 lists for each, one for each campaign, right? So I'm going to ask you to mute, right? But when when you send this email to different recipients, you're going to have a sequence of activities. Okay, what happened to those emails you sent? So this is the ID of the activity. Once again, this is a primary key. And so this is the activity ID. And in this table, you will have campaign ID and the email ID. Okay, so this table is associated with both email table and campaign table. I'm going to show you the relationship in a bit, right? So this is the data of the activity. And so activity, once again, is a set. It's going to be one of the 6, it's like, a sequence of action or sequence of activity, with that email. So I think this is also very easy for you to understand. So the email sent, and then the email bounced back. What does that mean? So it could be a bad email address, right? Or the email delivered, and you know that the email is sitting in the inbox of that recipient, and the email got open, and then the recipient is very upset with this email, and he clicked unsubscribe. So it's unsubscribed. Or the subject is actually very tempting, and the recipient of the email click on it. So open the email, and this is clicking maybe a backlink or something. It's a call to action, right? So could be you clicking the link to download a PDF, or could be a backlink taking you to the global email website, right? Hopefully you get that. And I want to show you that this campaign ID and email ID are actually foreign keys. So all the foreign keys are in reference to the primary key. So the campaign ID is foreign key in activity table, but this ID is the primary key in the campaign table. So this campaign ID is similar to this ID, but this is in activity table, and this is in the campaign table. Same thing, the email ID in the activity table is in reference to the ID in the email table. Okay, so let me run this. All right, so I'm going to show you what happened when I create 3 empty tables. So I'll click database and click reverse engineer. And you click next, next, and check this database and click next, next, execute, next, finish. Okay, so you're supposed to see the 3 tables already connected, okay? So if you click on this relationship, you can see it's between the ID in email table and email ID in activity table. And it's one-to-many relationship. And if you select this relationship, it's between ID in campaign table and campaign ID in activity table. And it's also a one-to-many relationship. So the 3 tables are already related. Okay, so this is how you create a empty database and empty tables and connect the tables, with this relationship using primary and foreign key. So I'm going to close this and go back to this example. So I'm going to put in some dummy data to make this example meaningful. So this is the email table. We will put in 6 emails, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is the campaign table, 3 campaigns. And these are the activities. Okay, so once I do this, let's refresh the schema. I'm going to show you each table. So start with the email table. This is pretty easy to understand. So 6 emails, these look like emails. They are all valid emails. And consent status, opt-in. Okay, very, very simple. So go to campaign table, 3 campaigns, 1, 2, 3. And this is the name of the campaign, digital and print Saturday, digital and print Monday through Saturday. And the subject, $1.99, $6.99, $10.99. And activity. I think, please don't put scribble. So I'm going to show you how to read this table. You need to separate this table into 6 partitions, and each partition is for 1 email. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6. Okay. So the first email, you will need to look at the first 4 rows. Okay. And it tells you, well, the email was sent and delivered on the same day, was opened the next day, and the recipient click the link on the next day. Okay, so sent, deliver, open, click, a sequence of activities or actions. So the second email, there are only 2 rows, 2 records. It was sent and bounced. It implies the email is bad, okay? Or the email doesn't exist, or the email account was closed, something like that, okay? So this email, 4 rows, email was sent, delivered, and opened, and the recipient didn't like it, so he or she unsubscribed it, okay? And this email number 4, email was sent, delivered, and opened, and then nothing happened after that. Okay, 5, email was sent, delivered, opened, and clicked. That's good. And the last email, number 6, email was sent and delivered, but nothing happened. Okay, not open, not clicked. Okay, so with this good enough information, we're going to simulate the email campaign process. Remember, the first step is list generation. So list generation is just a bunch of rules for us to run to include the emails or exclude the emails from the list. Okay, so list generation is either inclusion or exclusion. And when you edit the list, we are using this database management, it's called CRUD. So CRUD represent create, read, update, and delete. And usually, the regular users like you and me, we can only read. You can only query the database. The administrator can actually create or update or delete. Okay, so for this exercise, you need to get the special permission to delete from the database. But we're just simulating, this project, right? So in order to do this, remember we have to go inside MySQL. It's edit preferences, SQL editor, and uncheck the save updates. So I'm going to show you. Go to edit, preference, and then just a second. And then you have SQL editor. If you go all the way down, you can see this is a save update. So if I uncheck this, I will be able to delete rows or records, from the table. But usually that is a dangerous thing to do. And in your company, in the real work environment, you're not allowed to do that. But here we just create this a fake database, so we can do anything we want. All right, so the first exclusion is exclude the invalid emails or anybody who opt out. This is pretty simple. So it's a delete query, delete from email table, where the condition is true. Okay. Either email status is invalid or consent status is opt out. This is easy to understand, right? So, by looking at this, by running this, you will be able to understand the first exclusion, okay? But remember our email table, all the emails are valid, all the emails are opt-in, so a 0 record is deleted from that email list. But we need to go through this still. So the second exclusion, you want to exclude invalid emails, but this is different. You can actually validate the emails using regular expression. So there is a pattern for every email. So for instance, it's your name and then @ symbol, and then the domain, then dot. This is the top level domain. So could be .com, could be .org or .ca, okay, or .gmail. So I don't have time to explain this, but if you copy paste this into ChatGPT, you will be able to understand. So this is going to help you validate if the email is actually a valid email. Follow this pattern, okay? So I'm going to run this. But once again, my email table is fine. So no row is deleted from that table. So there's another exclusion, exclude emails on do not call list. Okay, so this is easy to understand. Delete from email, where email is in this do not call list. We don't have this table. So if I run this, I think you're going to see an error. Okay, so that this table doesn't exist. If you really want to create a table called do not call it, you can do that. And this is a business rule, business consideration. For instance, as a business, you don't want to upset the customers or the potential customers by sending the same person an email every day. That's close to harassment, right? So let's make a business rule. We will not send the same person another email within 30 days. So the second email has to be, 30 days or more, okay? So it's a resting rule. And I'm hoping, if you're really interested in CRM email campaign management, you will need to memorize all these terms. So resting rules, meaning, this, you need to let the customer rest for a while before you, lock on the door again. So we use this days since last sent, less than 30 days. So this is bad. So we will have to wait at least 30 days, right? So what happened is, if you look at the activity table, you can do a max of the activity day. And then you use the current day, which is today, right? Minus the maximum of the activity day. And then see if that is less than, equal to, or greater than 30 days. If it's greater than 30 days, that's fine. If it's equal to and less or less than 30 days, and then we need to exclude. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to run this. Cannot delete or update. Oh, I think there's a foreign key constraint. Let me see. I'm not going to spend too much time over here. So this runs. This should work. So if I put my cursor over here, I should be able to see the end of it. This also runs. So something is wrong. I can check this later on, but just so you understand what we're doing. So the first step is list generation. The second step is segmentation. So remember, we can segment the email by age group, by gender, by education, by occupation. And then you can use this rand. This is a randomizer. You can sow a random seed to randomly separate emailers into control and test group. So it's like this. So if you run this, you will see some of it is control, some of it is test. But because my sample, I only have 6 samples, so this is not a good example. If I have 100, I'm pretty sure it will be very close to 80 control and 20 test. But over here is all control. Okay. So then, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to, the one that there was an issue with, could there be a situation where it was because of the nested table?
Sorry, I just turned up your volume. Can you?
Not a problem. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Could that error have been because of the nested table? It was a select all from, and then it not directly calling, just the one column returning column.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Something for you to check on. Thank you. So let's say we finished the campaign and now it's time to measure the success. But we will need to create the KPI first. So this is pretty easy to understand. So if you sum the number of activities with activity being sent, so this is the number of sent, right? So I'm going to run this whole thing. So you will see the summary. You should be able to see the summary. Wait, where is my output? Wait a second. How come I can't see my output? If you don't have MySQL, you can use any SQL. You can use SQL Server, you can use SQLite to replicate the same process. It should be pretty easy. Let me run this one more time. Oh, table stats already exists. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a temporary table. I should show, right? Refresh. Anyways. I mean, oh, now you can see. Okay. Oh, because it's temporary table, so it will not go here. So now you can see by campaign, we have 3 campaigns, and then you have all these statistics. So the sends, deliver, open, click, bounces, unsubscribe. Open rate is 100%, click rate 100%, bounce rate 50%, unsubscribe rate 0%. So then you can measure the success across the campaigns. And then if you want to find the top campaign by open, so you can do this. So this, in terms of opens, the digital and print Saturday, this campaign is #1. Okay, so I'm going to just use this to show you the process. But I'm pretty sure after this, you feel a lot better if I come back to this. Okay, so this is a typical imposter syndrome. If you haven't done it, if you haven't done the work, I think most people would feel very uncomfortable to put something like this on your resume. But if you were to simulate the work and simulate the working environment, it's possible. It's entirely possible. So before you pursue, this career path, you can do a number of projects, and then you can experience what it is like to work in this team for the CRM campaign management, right? And you can do every step, every stage of the process to understand what's involved. So now if you look at this 5 bullets, it becomes a lot. It makes more sense to you now, right? So work with marketers and engineers to design and execute email campaign, generate leads and drive sales, and cover end-to-end process. So now you understand leads generation, campaign execution, and performance measurement, the 3 steps. Now you understand the email list. You also understand the rules, their business rules, and their government regulations. So now you understand the term do not call us and Canadian anti-spam legislation. So these are the basic things you need to know, right? So it's called domain knowledge. Tyra, may I have the questions and solutions? Yeah, if you send me an email, I can send you the script, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to type my email over here. Right, so I just want you to know that obviously the MySQL example is simplified. It's too simplified. So if you join the BI bootcamp or the DA/BI bootcamp, we're going to put you to do the real work, right? So it's similar. It's more real. It's more complicated, but nothing that you cannot overcome, right? So after this, I think this is a really good experience to put on your resume, and a lot of companies, they have CRM, they have campaign management, they use email channel, and when the hiring manager read this, every single bullet will make sense. Yeah, and they will consider this highly relevant experience. Okay, but so we can add this project experience on the resume, but most companies ask for how many years of experience do you have? How to text that question. Yes, and I think HR or recruiters, they like to ask the number of years. And the hiring manager, they know that the length of time is a bad measure. You know? But because HR insists they need to put number of years, either 2 years, 3 years, or minimum 2 years and 3 years. And that's why whenever you see the number of years on the job posting, don't feel hesitate to apply, because the hiring manager, they know those requirements are actually maximum requirements. Chances are they will not get candidates who meet all the requirements, and they will give concessions. They will look at your real experience and your real skills. If you don't have the work experience, they will look at your project experience and see how strong it is. But the point is, you know, some of this project experience is extremely practical, and it's project-based, and it's actually better than work experience, you know, the less relevant or irrelevant work experience. So if you're a new grad or career switchers, project experience is just one best way for you to become more competitive in the job market. So the number of years, when you see that, apply anyways. This is the reality. The hiring manager, and they care less about the number of years. The more relevant 6 months experience is way better, can beat, you know, 6 years of less relevant or irrelevant experience. And trust me on that. Otherwise, you cannot fabricate, you know, the real work experience. And the only thing you can do is to do a good project, and that will give you the proof, and then you can use it to showcase, to demonstrate that you have what it takes to succeed in that role. Okay. I'm going to take you to the second example. So this is a Google merchandise store. It's a real store. So I'm going to show you the store first. Yeah. So you see, this is Google, an official merchant shop. I think they changed the name. It used to be called Google Merchandise Store. And if I click this, I think it's a map. If you click shop now, there are some men's, women, kids clothes, and some mugs, stationery, collections, collectible. Yeah, it's real simple. If I go to sale, you can see most of the time it's just t-shirt, stationery. Yeah, but this is a real. This is a real store. So we have real data that you can use. So once again, I used this just to give you a demo. And many people have claimed that they know Google Analytics, because Google Analytics is like the standard of the industry. So if you use digital marketing, and then Google Analytics is the most important tool for you to measure the success. So some of you probably have seen it. Otherwise, it look like that. Look like that. So obviously, the life cycle of the customer is from acquisition to engagement to monetization. But some of the customers will leave, then you have the job to retain them, retention. So all the way from acquisition to engagement, monetization to retention. So this exercise focus on acquisition to get new customers. So if I click this, there are just a few charts and graphs that you can look at. This is for user, and this is the traffic. Yeah. Question from Kevin. These demos are great. So really add to my Kaggle.com here gives a study experience. By the way, Kevin, Kaggle is just too popular. I mean, everybody uses Kaggle, so it becomes less effective. You can still find good data sets on Kaggle, but most of the data sets are public data set, and it becomes less and less effective. The skills that make you really stand out are industry project, industry use cases. So you have to find those to add to your resume. Okay, so Google is a great company, but Google Analytics, at least this is the UI, is not that great. Okay, so this project, I'm going to take you to this dashboard, created using Tableau. So this is with Google Analytics, digital marketing - Google Analytics. So if I go to home, you will see a cover page. Wait, this is home. Yeah, so this is a cover page. If I go to executive summary. Okay. Actually, there's a lot of information, a bunch of filters. It's very easy for you to separate things into dimensions and measures. So these are dimensions. So channel is a dimension, device is a dimension, and country is a dimension. This is just a placeholder, okay? And then time, date and time is a dimension. So these are all dates. So you could select per month and current year. And then there are several ways to look at it. So you can compare current month versus previous month, or current month versus same month previous year. Sometimes you put this year over year, and this is month over month. And then year to date versus year to date over year to date. Okay. Finance, accounting department, they love to do this. They love to do month over month, year over year, and year to date over year to date comparison. Okay, so let's reserve this for finance. And most business people do that too, right? Okay. And then let's take a look at the measures or KPIs. So you see, this is total sessions. So these KPIs measure the performance of your website, right? So how many sessions, people actually visit your website? So this is 188,000 sessions, right? And all these visitors, what do they use to visit your website? The majority of them use, 82% of them use desktop. And then 16% use mobile, use cell phone. And only 2% use tablet, okay? And you also see the bounce rate by device. And 26% bounce. So bounce, you can see the definition, the percentage of visitors that leave a web page without taking any action. So they come here, it sucks, they left, right? So bounce rate is bad. So the customer experience on the phone is not great compared to desktop. So that's something for you to know or to present to the business. Then we have to do something to improve the customer experience so we can decrease the bounce rate. But sometimes people bounce because of maybe it takes too long to load, right? And there's a great video and people want to watch it, but it takes too long to load. Then that's something for you to take to IT, what is it? Okay, so sessions, bounce rate, and then unique page views, and how long they stay on each in each session. So a session is a visit, right? So, but within the same session, it could go from page to page to page to page, right? But the average duration is spent during that session is 1 minute, 13 seconds. Wow. You want people's attention. And nowadays, if you're an e-commerce, we're all fighting for people's attention, right? You will do anything to engage people, you will improve the content, improve the UI, you will put on videos, you will do a lot of things creative just to keep the customer and make the customer stay, right? So go down. These are the channels. So this tells you the sources, the origin of the traffic. Where did the people come from? As a digital marketing, analyst, you definitely need to understand all of these. And organic search and paid search, you need to know the difference between the two. Okay, I'll give you an example. So in Google, if I search for data engineering bootcamp, okay, so you will see WeCloudData here. You will see, bootcamp, learn UFT, a few others. But you notice that it says sponsor and sponsor and sponsor, sponsor. So these are paid search. We actually pay Google to be ranked among the top 3. But after this, we also have WeCloudData, Data Engineering Bootcamp being the first one. So this is not paid search. This is organic search. So only the ones with sponsors, so these are paid, but these are organic. How about DI bootcamp, BI bootcamp? Business intelligence bootcamp. Yay! So we are actually number 1 among the organic search, right? So this is due to the performance of our website. This is a good thing, we are ranked at the top. Okay, so coming back. So this is organic search and this is paid search. If most of the traffic comes from organic search, this is free. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Otherwise, paid search is actually quite expensive. We pay Google a lot of money, and it was to send you this traffic. Okay. What is direct? Direct is people already know the URL of your company. And so they just type WeCloudData.com. So this is direct. And referral could be, there's a review site like SwitchUp or Cost Compare. And then they talk about WeCloudData BI Bootcamp being one of the best. And then you come from there. So that's a referral. And social, WeCloudData, we could do marketing on YouTube or Instagram or X or Twitter. And then we include or LinkedIn, we include a backlink. You click on that backlink and they take you to our website. So these are all digital channels, and a good marketing team within the company, they want to leverage all these good channels to drive the traffic to our website. So we need to understand this. And these are the referral sites. So this is the work cloud, and for some strange reason, google.com.brazil actually is at the top, driving traffic to Google Merchandise Store. Okay, so if you look at this dashboard, and obviously this is better than this one, So the project is actually for you to reconstruct and reproduce this. We will go behind the UI. So this is the UI. And if you know the Google Analytics UI and you claim you have learned Google Analytics, that actually doesn't count. Knowing the UI is easy. But if you go behind the UI and look at the database, and that's where you get the most insight. So this is the schema of Google Analytics. And it's pretty easy to get the high level statistic from here. But what we choose to do is we get the heat level information. And there are just so many different tables you can go. So for instance, we can go to the page and you will see the page path, and then the host name, the page title, and the search keyword. And so you can use all this data to recreate the KPI. Okay, question, where would you recommend we find open source business data for personal project? So Christina, one of the way is to join the bootcamp, and we have the business project, industry grade, professional quality, and over the years we develop our own use cases or project, or sometimes we got it from the employer. Okay, and I think it's more effective that you use the industry grade project. Some of the data, for instance, let me just take you. So we can look at this very briefly to see the first Google Merchandise Store. So this is e-commerce industry, right? And we use Google Analytics, we use Google Cloud Platform, GCP. So this is one of the three clouds, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, and Azure. So we had the opportunity to work on the cloud, Google Cloud, and BigQuery is just like MySQL, but it's within Google Cloud Platform. So it's part of the Google ecosystem. And then we use Tableau to produce that dashboard. So this is the technology stack, okay? And so you already see that this is not simple, and it involves multiple platforms, multiple tools. And let's look at the full board. So the first one, you use BigQuery to get heat level data. You understand what I meant now, the heat level data nested in the GA sessions, Google Analytics session. And then you reconstructed Google Analytics dimensions and measures. Remember, we have a few dimensions, devices, channels, and countries. So those are dimensions and metrics. Remember the total number of sessions and bounce rate and the average duration on page. And then we export the Google query tables to Google Cloud Storage. And then you build an acquisition dashboard to visualize KPIs. Look, total sessions, average page views, average duration on page, bounce rate. Now you understand exactly what I meant by channel. So these are dimensions by device, by source, by median. Now we can do this month over month, year over year, year to date over year to date. And we can also apply the filters and parameters of comparison, distribution, and segmentation. The third one, the purpose of it, I think most business people understand what you wrote. So this is good because both technical and non-technical people understand it, right? The third bullet, track digital footprint. And so in the digital space, the only thing I think in the other spaces, people always complain we don't have enough data, but in the digital space, we have too much data, right? Because every click will need a record. So that gives you the digital footprint of the users, and you can use the data to identify channels and touch points where users interact with your brand. And so these are I think you remember this. So these are different channels: direct display, organic search, paid search, referral, social. Then we can help the marketing team answer where the traffic came from and how it converts, the sources of the traffic and the quality of the traffic. If they convert well, if the conversion rate is 10%, 15%, that's considered really, really good, right? So the quality of the traffic is high, is good. We don't, if it's just traffic, bad traffic, and the people we don't want, that doesn't help. That's not helpful. So we need to, it's traffic and conversion, right? So traffic is basically your leads, and times the conversion rate is your paying customers. So this can help you analyze what tactics work and what didn't. And then you can perform Pareto analysis, focus on the short head versus long tail data to grow leads and sales. For instance, you can find 20% of the channels and sources responsible for 80% of the traffic. Now you can target direct customers with direct offers in a marketing campaign and reduce the cost of acquisition. You notice that the objective is similar, reduce the cost of acquisition and, grow the leads and sales. But traditional CRM and digital marketing, they are different. This is probably offline and online, but there's a bit of overlap. And for instance, email, and some people said this is digital too, right? But you can run direct mail campaign, you can run telemarketing campaign, you can put things inside the envelope, but most of the process is similar, is very similar. So with these two projects, I think it really helped you beef up your resume. You will be able to apply jobs in retail industry, in even banks, insurance companies. They use the same. They also run email campaign. They use the same digital channels to acquire new customers. Okay, I'm hoping you get what I'm trying to convey. Okay, so going back to this. So this is the schema our students work with, and it's amazing. You can go to different, if you want to analyze the commerce part, how people pay transaction, so you can get any data. So over here, did we mention the size of data? So I really, really like this one. If you remember, this one actually mentioned Google Merchandise Store dashboard, 1.4 million records. So I like this a lot. So this shows people it's not just a toy project, it's an industry grade project. So let me just add this to, I remember it's 5 GB, 1.4 million rows. So this is good. This helps people understand, oh, this is a really good project. Okay, so going back, this is just one dashboard, and you can go to acquisition. So this will tell you more specifically, for instance, the top sources of traffic. And this page is similar to the previous page, but this gives you more information by sources, where the traffic comes from and how it converts. Then top page, top performer, this is by country, and you can also do some ad hoc analysis. So this is a pretty comprehensive dashboard. But the process is you will need to get the data from a BigQuery, Google Analytics data, and then reconstruct the dimensions and measures, and then use Tableau to connect to the source and create this dashboard. So this whole project will take a while, but going through this process will give you the confidence to present your project. And trust me, most of the employers, when they see something like this, they will feel more confident in your ability, in your ability to succeed in a role. And once again, only when HR, when they don't understand the job, because it's easy, they just use a number of years to measure your qualification. And then the length of time is probably the worst measure. And so it's quantity. The quality of experience can only be measured by something like this, like a portfolio that you can present to the employer. Serena Lane, the bootcamp will take care of every student to make sure they understand and gain the skills and the experience. Yes. So the bootcamp has two parts. And first, we will teach you the fundamental, but we don't teach you everything about every tool. We'll teach you just enough so you can start working on the project, right? So data fundamental will teach you 5 tools: advanced Excel, SQL, Python, Tableau, Power BI. We also put you on different clouds, including AWS, Azure, and GCP. You don't need to be a data engineer to work on the cloud. Now, almost everyone needs to be familiar with the different ecosystem. So the tools are free to use. And nowadays, most of the tools and most of the companies, they want to bribe into every analyst and developer. So it's usually free when you use it to work on personal project. But if you start to, use it within a small team, you need to pay. And the cloud environment is WeCloudData Cloud. We pay, so we pay the fee. Any other questions? So coming back here, these are just 2 project experience. These are just samples. So this is a project in energy sector, and this is a project in real estate, and this is a project in retail e-commerce. This is IT operation, and this is actually financial planning and analysis, and this is people analytics or HR analytics. You see, you can choose different project but eventually you only need 3 plus 3 to really become attractive to the employers. So I want to show you the second page of this resume. It's interesting. We always want you to keep everything, your resume, on one page, but we do have the second page, and we ask people to use the second page to showcase their portfolio and the visual part of the portfolio. So Google Merchandise Store is one, and this individual includes retail, e-commerce, business analysis. This is probably one of the personal projects, neighborhood rating and disaster analytic dashboard. This is also public data. So it's okay you include public data, but you will need to have one or two or three industry project over here. So she successfully landed a really good job in aerospace. It's an American company, and she is now the principal BI and analyst in that company. In fact, the hiring manager reached out to me because he knew that WeCloudData runs a BI bootcamp. So he said, Eric, when you have a class graduating, please let me know. Please recommend just a handful strong candidate. And I gave him 3 resumes and he hired from the 3. So he picked Chloe. So this is the resume she used. Any questions? Okay, so at the beginning of the presentation, I asked you to play with one dashboard. So this is the capstone project. Let me include that link again because you can still play with it. You can just you can still play with it after this presentation, but I want to show you here. So this is considered industry grade. It's really, really impressive. Look, so this is the project. It's the capstone project, and the students did in the bootcamp. This is a lot more complicated. Using Power BI, so this is powerbi.com. You can see the navigation at the top. This is the cover page. Very, very high level. You see sales, margin, number of stores, the number of merchandise, number of SKU. And you can click this hamburger menu. It will open a bunch of filters. So the filter is hidden. I like this better, compared to this, right? So this is much, much better. I really, really like it. And then you see, we have multiple dashboards and by dimensions. And this is geography. So it's continent, country, location, or maybe store. There's a specific store dimension. And then this is product dimension. This is supplier manufacturer dimension. This is one particular analysis called full quadrant analysis. This is another deep dive analysis called organic growth. This is discount analysis, trying to analyze the effectiveness of discount strategy. So even this little card includes multiple things. This is not easy to make, you realize? So this is absolute amount of net sales, and this is the change percentage from the previous year, right? This is the sales quantity, and this is million, 12 million, and this is change. material margin, absolute, and relative change. You see, even this is not easy to do. But if I take you to this dashboard, it's even more impressive. So you see, I can toggle between different KPIs. So this is sales. Now it becomes profit or quantity, right? So everything will change with it. And if I only want to see Asia, I can click Asia. See, this will move. North America, to move again. And this is Canada. And so you see the tooltip with the flag and everything. Let's look at US. The majority is the US. And I can, open Asia, Europe, France. This is, that will show just France. Okay, so let me just click this thing again. And come back to normal, right? So you see the design is just fantastic from left to the right. And usually you have high level parts on the left and more details and analysis to the right. So if I go to product, and similar design, but slightly different, same 3 KPI. And then this is the card, including multiple measures. And this is a little bit of AI. I can delete all this and see the contribution. If I click this, I can pick, different, if I pick product category, this will show, which category contribute the most. So it's computer or cell phone, cell phone. Now, if I keep going with subcategory, oh, this is cell phone accessory actually contribute the most. So question from Antony. This is just a makeup company. It doesn't have to be this brand, and every student use different name. It's the same data. It's the same data. So it is Power BI. So you can publish to Power BI service, powerbi.com, and then anybody with the name will be able to play with it. Yeah, so it's Power BI service. And even, so I can keep going. Product, and then brand. So I can do deep dive analysis, and this is Pareto analysis. See, this is beautiful. And I can toggle, between different KPIs. I can go up or down and roll up and drill down. I can roll up. I can drill down. So this is 2080. 20% of the product, this is head data responsible for maybe 80% of the sales. And if I click product key, this is more detailed. You see? And it's all included in the same graph. It's amazing, how much you can include. So this is a store analysis. So just to show you real quick what this involves. So this is a map, the store distribution. And you can use this. This is a linear model, and to help you forecast the number of employees based on the floor area. And this is manufacturer. So the size of it will represent the number. This is quantity, but I can switch to net sale. If I click this, you will see just this supplier. If I click again, it goes back. So it's pretty cool. So this is 4-quadrant analysis to show you the 4 quadrant. And we also built the dynamic comments. So if I click quadrant 3, the comments will change. Amazing, right? Organic growth, we can separate the growth into volume and price. And discount strategy. And I really like the detailed analysis. So this, you can use this to perform any ad hoc analysis. You can choose any dimensions. So for instance, if I choose just year, I can configure this report. And I'm going to choose just net sales. So you see, and I can multi-select net sales, gross margin. So you start to have more. And I'm going to include also product category and sub-product category. So you start to have more information. Manufacturer. And plus you have this many filters you can choose. So potentially this data detail can help you do any ad hoc analysis. Yeah, so to answer your question, Anthony, this is an app this is just a Power BI dashboard. But it looked like an app. It looked like an app. The navigation, the design, everything looks very user-friendly. So it's pretty impressive. So now going back to that question, if you don't meet the number of years qualification, but if you can produce dashboard this quality, would you believe that you can convince the employer that you can do the job? I mean, absolutely, right? So it becomes hard if all you have is a resume. It becomes hard to convince the employer. But if you have a resume and also a portfolio, it becomes much easier for you to convince the employer that you are the best, right? You can do the job. Any questions? So we still have 12 minutes left. So you can play with that link, after you get home. All right. So if I go back to be a learning path, so these are the things we teach you. So these are the skills we want you to have. Advanced Excel, it's not just the formulas and function. We use Power Query, Power Pivot extensively. We use slicers and timeline to build dashboard even within Excel, right? And Serena, after the bootcamp, we'll be able to do the Power BI like that. Yes, not after the bootcamp, even it's during the bootcamp. You will be able to. So the capstone project is the most complicated project, but you will be able to do it. When it comes to cloud platform, is there any particular preference employers have usually? That's a good question. So different companies, they choose different technology. AWS used to be the leader, right? But now Azure is catching up real quick. And Google Cloud Platform is number 3. But for us, do you need to choose? I don't think you need to choose. You can work on all 3. You're not an expert, but you have had experience working with AWS, GCP, and Azure. That's enough. And the same with visualization tool. Do you need to choose between Tableau and Power BI? You don't need to choose. You will learn both, right? Some companies like Tableau, but a lot more companies, they prefer Power BI simply because Power BI is part of Microsoft ecosystem. So you see companies using Office 365, Dynamics, so 365, that's the CRM system, offered by Microsoft. So if some companies, they are already a Microsoft shop, then chances are they will use Azure, they will use Power BI, and that's fine. And the good thing is, once you learn one visualization tool, it's going to be pretty easy for you to pick up the others. And Tony, a friend of mine, is displaying his Power BI report portfolio. I'm not sure how much he pays for it. Oh, I think we teach the students to build your own dashboard. Let me show you. Okay, so this is just an example. So your portfolio could look like this. So this is the first page, but with some links people can click. So I can click about. So my name is Eric Liu. I'm a lucky guy. My background, my traits, my skills. And this shows you I have practiced LeetCode a lot. So I can go to LeetCode. You see, these are the things I did. Oh, wait. I practiced LeetCode a lot. Let me just go back to previous page. You see, there's a lot of information. I can go to blog, my blog post. Wait a minute, how to pass SQL test. I recorded a video. I can play that video. No problem. Let me go back. Now I can, oh, wait. Now I can take you to my portfolio. I have multiple projects. I can take you to retail project. You see, I also recorded a video, this one. You see, there's a cross you can show people, and trend analysis, product analysis. Yeah. So the good thing is, you notice this page is live. Eric Gintalio, that's my real name. .notion.site. So we use Notion. So it's already a website. If I click view site, so this is my portfolio. Look, it's beautiful, right? So you don't need to use a host. You can have your own website. This lady has her own portfolio website. Okay. So when is this boot camp, and do I need to pay? Yeah, yes. So WeCloudData is a private college, and we are in the business to make a profit. How do you join the lessons? You can contact me. We can talk about your career paths. Send me your resume, and so I can know you better before we meet. I'm going to show you my calendar. Once again, I put everything. Vienna impasse. So use this link to schedule a meeting with me, so I can discuss your career paths in your own circumstances. I will give you some suggestions and advice how to make the next jump. Nowadays, to be honest with you, the job market is actually pretty tough. It's not easy to find a job in general, not just data job. In fact, there are still enough data jobs because the economy is not doing well, even though the stock market is doing well. The economy is not doing well. A lot of companies are letting people go, so they need you to do more, and it's better and faster. So they need to hire people who can work with the newest technology, who know how to automate workflow, who can maybe develop 5 dashboards to automate 100 reports, manual reports in Excel. So we just need to change the way we work. And there's only one way, by using and leveraging the newest technology. Okay. Okay, so 4 minutes left. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. If you don't have more questions, I like to call this the end of the presentation. But feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. So I'm going to paste my LinkedIn. And feel free to send me an email with your resume. Can I send Notions? Notion is a tool everybody can use to build a portfolio. So you don't need to learn, web development to create your personal portfolio website. And that's the reason we chose Notion, because you can spend your time improving the dashboard, not the website. Okay, so this is the end. Thank you very much for you guys to stay with me toward the end of it. Follow us, join back the meetup event. We do this quite often, so I host a meetup every other Tuesday. So if you have any personal questions, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, or you can schedule a meeting with me. Thank you.